Alright, I'm back, and I hit F9 is my hotkey for recording, and for some reason I was having trouble. I'm brushing up on my sign language and reading about it too. Stuff like history of it, even though they cover it in sign language class. Your school teaches sign language as a class? Yeah, one of the first things they brought up was that it's not very common to do that, as we're very international or something. It looks fun. Well, I wouldn't call it fun. If you do not enjoy it, it seems like a lot of work to do just to talk. Yeah, work to go through just to talk to my sister. Why does everyone keep saying that? Hidaki's mouth twitches like he is about to laugh, but he restrained himself. Come to think of it, he hasn't laughed once since I've met him. I could take it as a compliment that he doesn't laugh at me, but I'm curious to see it. Laugh. Why? It was the fastest and most direct way I could think towards accomplishing my goal. Can you teach me sign language? He says it plainly, but his body language is nervous, showing that he clearly needs to put some effort in it to ask. I guess Hidaki likes his sister after all. I think Misha's a lot more approachable though, so I wonder why he didn't ask her. Secretly, I'm shouting "yes" inside. I had thought he wanted to learn sign language and even brought it up, but he had evaded the subject skillfully. It turns out I was right after all. I don't really know why this makes me so pleased. Sure. But now that I think about it, I'm not a sign language teacher. I don't even know where to start. In class, I'd be learning stuff gradually over a week. Does Hidachi expect me to teach him anything useful in a one-day crash course? My teacher spent a couple of days just to give us the history of sign language. I decided to start off with that, to buy some time while I figure out how I can segue into some of the hard stuff. First 5 minutes in, Hidaki raises his hand. I don't understand what you are doing. Well, you can't just jump into teaching, you know. You have to ease into it. It's like when you go swimming. You don't just jump in the lake like in some movie. I do not swim. It's like scientists manage to create a process to suck out all the hyperactive, infuriating, and childish qualities of a small kid and then implant them into the dad, creating a raging jerk dad and leaving behind Hidaki. I begin to feel claustrophobic, despite the fact that the guest room is 3 times bigger than my dorm room. There are just 2 of us in here. It's all in my head. I know it. I don't care. I still use it as an excuse to move the lesson outside. It's a lot easier to concentrate out here, even though the precious few seconds it took to relocate managed to allow me to sort my thoughts. There are no questions during this time. Hidaki can't seem to talk and walk at the same time. Eventually, however, I start to realize that if I'm going to teach him anything, I have to keep the lessons constantly moving. The second there's an opening for it, he'll ask a question, which will lead to more questions, and there's no end to it. The second time he asks why a certain hand motion means what it does, and I have to reach deep into my memory to look for etymology. I don't know what that is. I don't know about a gesture. I only knew about a month longer than him. I started looking for an out. Hidaki, let's take a break. Okay. What is your school like? This kid is like a little reporter, but it makes sense for someone his age to be curious, and this is one question I don't mind. What's it like? I never really thought about it. It's on top of this mountain, so it feels kind of isolated and lonely up there sometimes. Even though there's also why it has a pretty great view. The students there are interesting. Actually, I felt bad at first. You know what kind of school it is, right? Yes. I felt bad because I didn't want to go there. I don't even remember exactly what I was thinking at the time. Probably it was something like a school for crippled people would be a depressing place. They were telling me to go be forgotten there. Then everyone there was just living their lives for the most part. So I felt even worse. It wasn't different at all. So I felt kind of a jerk. Shizune was the first person I met. She's in most of my classes. Misha too. They're always together. I guess the school is accommodating enough to pair them up as much as possible. There's this girl in my class, Hanako, whom I feel bad for. She has these burns and seems to have a complex about them, but I think she looks fine. She's a cute girl, and friends like with Lily too. You know Lily, right? Does she bring up Pinako? Yes, sometimes. I'm trying to remember who else is interesting. We had a little track star ace who runs on these prosthetics. There's this one girl, Rin, who doesn't have arms, but she's a great painter. All her art has this harsh, alive quality. Have you ever been to Yamaku? You've probably seen some of it hanging around. Little weird sometimes, but I've always heard that artistic and creative types are like that. That reminds me, the guy who lives across the hall from me is pretty weird too. But he can be interesting at least. Yeah, when he takes off his glasses. You are also interesting. Is that bad? And what's with that tone? What does that even mean? Are you saying I'm weird, Hidaki? You talk a lot. My first instinct is to go on the defensive, but the more I think about it, he has a point. That's right, I do talk a lot. I don't think I used to. I think it's probably because of all the time I spend around Shizune and Misha talking with them. I get caught up in all their circular logic and just how they do everything. I feel like I'm going to be drowned out or left behind. My sister can drown you out? It's not like she's literally talking over me and stuff, obviously. It's hard to explain. They have more energy than I do. It's like an aggressiveness. I don't feel like I have to match it, but I want to. I think maybe your sister has that effect on people. Do you look up to your sister? He stares at me blankly, tense and confused as how to react to the question. We'll be better than Shizune. Better at what? At everything. Like what? I can do magic tricks. You mean like telling people you've got their nose, or more like the kind of magic where you pull a rabbit out of your ass? What? Hat? Why would you say that? He doesn't look happy. Someday I will see Hidaki laugh. I might just try tickling him if I have to. Oh shit. It's Jigoro. Run. The back door flies open and Jigoro, I love the name, strides out of it, keeping his back straight and taking a giant, slow, regal strides like either a king or a huge jackass. I try to turn away, using the train of logic that if I can't see him, he can't see me. Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out, and he comes over so fast that he appeared out of the air over my shoulder. Oh ho, what's up here? What are you two doing? Flailing your hands around, playing cat's cradle like a bunch of girls? I'm teaching Hidaki some sign language. What about you, Mr. Hakamichi? Whoa, why is he so pissed? Like he went, yeah, no. He narrows his eyes suspiciously as if he's not used to people being polite to him. I'm writing an autobiography of my life and times. And by writing, I mean I am dictating it to my biographer. Unfortunately, she is running late. Unprofessional. Perhaps you should read it when it's published later this year. I could put you on the waiting list. Maybe it will give you the moral compass you seem to lack in your life and inspire you to stop sucking. It can't be sustainable for him to be so casually insulting to everyone, though Hidaki is likely too detached to even notice. Shizune is deaf, and most of the insults must fly over Misha's head, but surely Akira must have an opinion on this. I try not to think about it. If he is doing this to psych me out, then I have to stay calm or he wins. He must absolutely definitely not win. This must be how Shizune feels. How old are you? 46. Doesn't seem old enough to justify writing a biography. I mean, that's not even old. Don't most people start writing their memoirs a lot later than that? Shut up, boy. I'm going to give you advice. Do not talk about matters of age with people older than you. You are less than half my age. You have no right to talk about old. I have an ulcer older than you. Jesus, what the fuck, Jigoro? What crawled up your ass? You were cool for like a minute, and then you became Sir General Dickhead. He should get that checked out. He might have a point, though. He is definitely older than I am. Either way, even if we were of the same age, I wouldn't have to explain myself to you, Sweater Vest. Ugh. Why do you make that noise? Are you mad? Well, obviously. Good. Your sweater is terrible, and I want you to feel bad about it. The burn tells me it's working. I like my sweater. I'm sure you like huffing glue, too. That doesn't make it right. I don't have a clue. Where did you get that? The impression I do. That is slander. I wonder how Hidaki knows about what slander is. Maybe Jigoro is a lawyer. I can sort of see that, although I thought only TV lawyers were. That this antagonistic. There we fucking go. I don't know if I should take the chance and ask if that's his job. He's right, it is slander. Are you a lawyer? I was guessing. I guess based on the fact that you are stupid. It's like how you are assuming I am a lawyer, except you have no reason to think that. If you want to know what I do so badly, why don't you pre-order my autobiography? Now you are insulting my book and by extension my entire life. What kind gives you the right to do that? Arrogant. I'm trying to think of how I can make you understand my struggle. Maybe by beating you with my autobiography. I hope you walk away from the beating having learned a valuable lesson, not like not making assumptions. Assault and battery with a deadly weapon too, possibly. But he made an assumption too that I huffed glue. I considered calling him out on this before glaring example of hypocrisy, but I don't think it's worth it. He would probably explain his way out of it by saying, "Shut up, boy." Back in my day, children were seen, not heard, and to be an adult meant having experienced many hardships. With even a glance, people could instantly judge a man's character. Childhood existed only to temper you for adulthood. When you look at me, can you not see the catalog of my experience, even at a glance? Maybe? Were you a sword fighter? He could also be Hawaiian and a werewolf. Wait, didn't you tell me before not to make assumptions? Now you just asked me to assume stuff. And you're saying everyone when you were my age did it. Now it had to be in the 80s? That wasn't even that long ago. I'm ready to give him a piece of my mind for talking like he had to walk 15 miles in the snow to ride a coal train. Then he had to shovel coal into it himself before climbing up a mountain while fighting ogres to get to school. But now I finally want to fight. Jigoro was happy to have a good thing going, just continuing to ramble about how difficult it was growing up one generation ago, twirling his sword like a baton and stopping occasionally to yawn and check the time. The tardiness of his autobiographer is still foremost in his mind. That means the whole time he's been insulting me, he must have been doing it just to pass the time. To add insult to insult, his watch is also really nice. When I was your age, kids had responsibilities. Not like today. Sickening. No one thinks about the consequences of their actions anymore. They just do whatever they want, thinking no one will hold them accountable since they are young. It's odd, that description could fit Shizune Misha. I thought something similar only yesterday, but it only fits them slightly. Look at yourself. An amoral, directionless, delinquent glue huffer with a complete... Alright, hey guys. We're back. It's next morning. I record this a lot, which I'm gonna slow down a little, because, I mean, this is a third playthrough. I have all the first playthrough up on YouTube, although half of them are... I'm a little tired if you can't tell. I just woke up, like, 17 minutes ago. Still feel a little tired. Beat my alarm, so... which I did not turn off, so... that would have been annoying. There we go. Anyways. Just like to record a little in the morning. I have class, but I got like a little over an hour before I have to actually get ready. So, here we are. So let's just jump right back in. Last time, Jigoro was being a dickhead. Hey Sao, is he saying something insulting? Tell him not to insult my friends. Don't insult my friends. Which one of you is talking? Both of us. I agree with her. Hehehehe. What do you think, Hichan? You should have kept it like it was. Aw, Hichan, you look disappointed. You don't like it either? Well, yeah, I'll admit I kinda liked your old haircut more, but I think this one is nice too. It suits you. Aw, thanks, Hichan. Touching. If you like it so much, maybe you two should trade. You can't trade a haircut. What a shame. Even her old haircut would suit you so much more than your current slacker haircut. Awful. As for you, actually, this is much less garish than your other haircut. I like it. Ha 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 ha, really? Thanks, Mr. Shizune's dad. It's Mr. Hakamichi. Talk like a normal person. I don't understand. Okay, I'll call you Mr. Hakamichi. It's like speaking to a slide whistle. Contemptible. Where's my biographer, Hidaki? He starts quietly muttering to himself and walks off. Guess I wanna be cranky old man like Jigoro would at the very least be hesitant to yell at girls. Suddenly, he doubles back, unable to resist his urge to have the last word. Another thing, you do not have to be so loud. I do not like being shouted at. What? Shouting? I'm not shouting. I can't think of anyone more unqualified to talk about how garish or to chastise someone else for shouting at people. It's like a parade of hypocrisies, and the hits just keep coming. Oh, damn it, I'm gonna be yawning too much, but I didn't want to wait. An unusual reaction seems to be taking place. Misha apparently finds Jigoro funny and laughs pretty much every time he says something, which only makes him berate her harder. I guess this is what they call a vicious circle. Misha's voice is punctuated with explosions of laughter and seems to come from everywhere. On the other hand, Jigoro is booming and directed like a cannon. In any case, they are both unbelievably loud. The more they talk to each other, the more they seem to play off each other's volume and get louder. Ow, my ears hurt. Why are you shouting? Shizune's hands wrap around my eyes from behind, something I'm so used to Misha doing that for the first time I find myself confused by it, since Misha is in front of me. She lets go and holds a finger up to her lips. What a perfect distraction. Now our opportunity. Let's sneak off. Why do we have to sneak off? Why not just walk off? It wouldn't be as fun. It's decided. It's a secret mission. Escape without being detected. Distract Hidaki for bonus points. Arish has simplified the situation to a game. Shizune quietly slides away from the scene and begins edging towards the house. I walk toward it normally. I can't find Shizune at first, but eventually she walks into the main part of the house, sipping a glass of ice water.